The following program, The Lightning Strike, is sponsored by Mohammed Fahim, and to the extent applicable, their guests. The views and opinions expressed therein do not necessarily reflect those of Heartland Signal, LLC, or its management.
Get ready to be jolted out of the ordinary and into a world where conversations are charged with intensity and facts. The Lightning Strike Talk Radio with your host, Mohammed Fahim, broadcasting live from the heart of the city on Chicago's Progressive Talk Radio, WCPT 820 AM. Welcome to a radio show that charges through the airwaves with an electricity like no other. Here's your host, Mohammed Fahim.
Good morning, folks. Good morning. Welcome to the Lightning Strike. I'm your host, Mohammed Fahim. With me in the studios today, Ken DeLuke.
Howdy, folks.
John Arena.
Good morning.
And our intern, Jacob Pettyjohn.
Hello.
Okay, so welcome again. We know that today is going to be one of those days where people probably are expecting that we will be beating our chest and saying, oh, woe is me, we lost. No, that's not how it's going to go, okay? But if you do want to call in, join the conversation. The number to call in is 773-763-9278. Let me repeat that number. 773-763-9278. You can also text us at that number. Our person of the week is Jacqueline Ruiz. She'll be joining us in the third segment today around 9:30, 9:40 in that place. And also, we're going to be talking in the second segment about Biden's legacy, the Middle East war. And if you want to call in on any of those topics, feel free. Again, the number 773-763-9278. In the third segment, we are going to take a look at what Trump has promised during the election, all the wild promises he made, and is he going to be keeping them? And we're going to keep track of this, okay? One of the things that now we are resistance radio, okay? Let me put it this way. Okay, so it's going to be a fun Sunday for us. And in our last segment, we're going to take a look at why did the Dems lost so badly? Do celebrity endorsement work, the role of media, social media, political consultants, micro-targeting, all those factors that should have been taken into account. And who screwed up? How did they screw up? And what is your take on who screwed up? It's not just us talking.
You left off Russian bomb threats.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and I'm sure after the show you'll be sharing whatever medication you're on to give you this optimism, right? I mean, I didn't know.
John, here's the thing. Okay, I put up something on Facebook the other day that when God has a reason for everything. He sends storms so that eagles can soar and elephants can wallow in their muck. Okay.
I can give you something optimistic to think about.
Okay. So
let's say,
thank you, God.
You know what is our national bird?
I guess we're wallowing in the muck right now.
No, sir.
We're the eagles. We are soaring.
We are soaring. All these storms are going to make us stronger, man.
All right.
Okay.
So let me share a concept with you. You guys are going to love this.
Okay.
Before the end, or before January 20th, doesn't matter what day, as long as it's before January 20th, Joe Biden resigns. Then that makes Kamala 47th president, okay? And all the money that Trump spent on all of his swag for number 47 goes out the window.
That's the plan. Take 47 away from him. I love it.
And then she makes history being the first female president, right?
The letterhead.
Well,
that's how we win.
So, folks, here's the thing, okay? You're fine. Elections come and go. We lost. Okay, big deal. Okay, we're going to come back much stronger. Please trust me on that. Do not get depressed. The moment that you get up in the morning, you put your feet on the ground. Be thankful. You don't know how many people didn't get up in the morning. How many people got up and they got up sick. How many people got up and their family members could not get up?
I would say slightly under 50% of the country did that.
Yep.
This has never happened to me before, but this legitimately happened to me. I have never had outside stresses ever physically make me sick, and Wednesday that happened.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that just, whoa, I didn't know that was a thing, but it is.
Hey,
so I have there was S.J. Russell on Facebook. I read this, and I think this sets up what we want to talk about today.
Okay.
Unfortunately, democracy only works if there is accurate information for voters to make informed decisions, and a majority moral and ethical voting public that actually believes in the Constitution. America is not that place anymore. It is a land of grievance and low information, and an education system that is too expensive and beyond the reach of many.
Okay, so folks, again, I mean, I see a number of people calling in. The number to call in is 773-763-9278. My life is always about optimism, okay? And, yeah, challenges come, and the biggest challenge happened to me in 1983. You know what that was? And I survived it, man.
No.
I've been surviving it for 41 years now.
You had a heart attack?
No, he got married.
I got married. Okay.
And then he had a heart attack.
Okay. So here's the thing. Keep smiling. Keep laughing. Okay. The sun came up again, didn't it? Okay. And, yeah, for some people, and they're...
He hasn't been sworn in yet, though.
Yeah.
So we're not sure about the sun on the 21st of January.
Yeah. So, yeah, we still got 150 some odd days. And let's not be, pessimistic about things. Things happen, but things happen for a reason. And it is always to make you stronger. Please remember that and share the optimism that, yep, this too shall pass. Those are my 4 favorite words in the English language. This too shall pass. Okay. So on that note, we'll take a quick break and we'll come back on the other side of the break with some very, very interesting conversation. We got Pam calling in. She wants to talk about why would somebody want to vote for somebody. I'm not going to use that word that you have, Pam, on the air, but somebody like Trump. Okay. Right back on the other side of the break with Pam.
Strikes, my friend.
Did you know there's an Illinois mandate that states by 2025, ComEd has to have 25% of the energy they deliver come from a green source? Because of this, plus the fees and taxes you've already paid on this program, if you qualify, you can get solar on your home at no out-of-pocket cost. This can mean an average savings on your electric bill of maybe 30 to 50%. More importantly, it would eliminate the uncertainty of ComEd raising your rates by whoever knows how much each year. Some people have noticed a 41% increase on their bill this spring, and ComEd has been asking for another 80% increase over the next 4 years. If your average bill is $200 a month now, maybe it could be reduced to $100 a month. Now, 5 years, would you rather pay $115 or possibly $400 to $500? If you'd like to see if you can qualify for this program, call Ken DeLuke at 312-617-8979. That's 312-617-8979. Help us save the environment and change that electric bill burden. That's 312-617-8979. Take advantage of this program while it's still available.
Your voice matters more than ever. Are you registered to vote? If not, don't wait. Download the Vote IQ app today. Vote IQ gives you all the information you need on local and national offices, plus constant updates on the political news that affects you. It's easy, it's free, and it's your key to making informed decisions. Visit the Play Store or go online to www.app.voteiq.org. Your vote is your power. Make it count. Download the app now and ensure you make an informed decision at the polls.
Welcome back to the Lightning Strike with Mohammed Fahim.
Good morning, folks. Welcome back to the Lightning Strike. This is your host, Mohammed Fahim, broadcasting live. And with me in the studio is Ken DeLuke and John Arena. And our intern, Jacob Pettyjohn, who has joined the team to help out. Welcome, Jacob. Welcome on board. And if you want to call in, join the conversation, vent a little bit, just be a little, civil about it. Be polite. Number to call in, 773-763-9278. And Pam, good morning. You are on the Lightning Strike. What's on your mind?
Good morning. I'm not quite sure what word I said that you couldn't repeat, because I think I said, why were so many people voting for Trump when he's an adjudicated sexual abuser?
Oh, those words we can use.
Yes.
Those words we can use, Pam. Educated sexual abuser, felon.
Well, that's what he is. He's a rapist, right?
Yep.
So my question is, as we look at the numbers, and I know you all want to, break apart why, what the Democratic Party and, what VP Harris did. What I saw was a decent person running who has policies that are going to help people. So my question to you all, why were so many people willing to vote for someone like that sexual abuser who is a liar, who has already proven he's going to be about revenge, and has no interest in really trying to help the majority of the people? So I can understand, yes, we all get up and we must move on. And but the celebration of him, I can't understand it. And the demonizing of the Democratic Party, it's not anything wrong with them. It's something wrong with that Republican Party and their loyalty.
Well, unfortunately, it's not a Republican Party anymore. It's a Republican cult, or it's a Trump cult. Okay, they've drank the Kool-Aid. They've gone off the deep end on it. When he says something that's really weird,
they drank the bleach.
They drank the bleach. Yeah, well said.
Yeah, the bleach.
They drank the bleach. Okay.
And the problem is, too, they say, oh, he doesn't mean it. That's just the way he talks. He says his mind. No, believe it, folks. I mean, some of the stuff he says that he wants to implement is going to be crazy, but we'll figure that out in the next cycle.
Let's look at the numbers, Pam. Okay.
I don't want to normalize it. I just don't want us to normalize.
No,
and
we should
already coming across. I don't want to normalize the fact that he's a sexual abuser.
Absolutely, we should not normalize it. We should keep on.
And I'll hang up and listen, but I just want to make sure we make that clear, because nothing about that is funny.
Absolutely, and but we should make it clear that we are not going to take it lying down. We're going to hold these people accountable. And 5 or 6 Democratic state governors have come out this morning with very strong statements as to how they are not going to let the federal government walk all over them, and they are going to protect the rights of the people that they have been elected to represent.
Yeah.
So
here's the way I would describe this whole scenario. We are in the transition between late stage capitalism and early stage idiocracy. I mean, this is our problem. We have a capitalist system that is just all about grift and sell everything, and basically there is no advertising standards. There's no truth in advertising anymore. And we have an uneducated population that elected, as she just pointed out, a convicted felon and a serial sexual abuser, and our daughters are going to have to grow up in a world like this. One
of the things that we wanted to talk about is in 2020, Trump got about 74 some million votes. In 2024, this time, he actually got less votes.
Yeah.
He got 71 million votes. There's a difference of almost 3 million votes.
But
okay.
look at the Democratic,
let's look
Kamala's
at it.
numbers.
Yeah,
hers 81 million for Biden in 2020.
Yeah.
68, 69 million.
And 66 million for Harris. So 14 million people did not come out to vote. Yeah. Okay, so it's not so much that people wanted Trump. A lot of people did not want Kamala. And we'll discuss more about that in our third segment, John. Let's see. We got a couple of callers calling in. Margaret is calling in. And Margaret, good morning. You are on the air on the Lightning Strike with Mohammed, Ken, and John.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. What do you have for us?
Am I on?
Yes, you're on, Margaret. Go ahead. What's on your mind?
Okay. I want to know why nobody in this country is talking about the fact that Ivanka Trump trademarked voting machines in 2019. What is the secret that Mike Johnson kept saying that he has a secret with Donald Trump? Were the votes in Michigan and Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, were they hand counted or were they counted by a machine? And for the very first time I heard a gentleman call in yesterday. I can't remember where he is from, but he mentioned the vote count and if it was stopped and other things like that. I just caught the tail end of it, but I want to know why, and I hope people are listening all around and can start talking about this. Why did she trademark voting machines in 2019, other than for a moment like this?
Well, unfortunately, I don't have any information on that,
Right.
Margaret. So what we will do is let us made a note of it, and we're going to dig some and do some research. And Jacob, that is an assignment for you, my friend. Jacob is our intern, and Jacob is sharp as a tack. And we will be definitely digging into it and come back and see, what happened over there.
Hey, Margaret, if your implication is that the voting system lost its integrity and there was malfeasance, I think we probably had the most secure voting this cycle than we've ever had, just because of all the attention that's been on it on both sides of the aisle. So the chances of them rigging something, if that's where you're going on this, I think it's really
let's
small.
take a look at it. Let's take a look at it, okay?
Here's the thing. I mean, I whatever's, there was a lot of, obviously, 2020 all about, the pillow guy saying, everything was stolen and they have all the paper. Right. That's not our problem in our election system. Our problem in our election system is the suppression.
Talking about stealing the election.
Well, he started off talking that because he was pretty sure that he was going to lose.
Yeah.
Listen, we just gave you some numbers. Like 14 million Democrats did not come out to vote this time.
I don't believe that.
No, those are the numbers that are coming out from
that.
the numbers over here that we are looking at. These are numbers reported
exactly.
by. These are numbers being reported.
That's exactly what they're telling us, but if there was a government contract given to a company that sells voting machines to our states, if that happened in the last 5 years and the votes aren't counted manually and they're calculated by these voting machines, look at all the fraud that he's gotten away with.
Well, we can definitely, Margaret. We will look into it, and thank you so much for bringing it to our attention, and thank you for calling in. Let's go with Brett and see what Brett has to say this morning. And again, folks, if you want to join the conversation, vent a little bit, feel free to call in. The number to call in, 773-763-9278. After the show is over today, you can go to our YouTube channel at TLS Chicago for the Lightning Strike. You can also go to our website. We have a new domain that we are building. It is tlsradio.com. And you can go and check out the archives of the show and what we talk about over here. Again,
you can also live stream it on Facebook at WCPT 820.
Okay, so a sip of water over here. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back on the other side of the break with Brett.
Your voice matters more than ever. Are you registered to vote? If not, don't wait. Download the Vote IQ app today. Vote IQ gives you all the information you need on local and national offices, plus constant updates on the political news that affects you. It's easy, it's free, and it's your key to making informed decisions. Visit the Play Store or go online to www.app.voteiq.org. Your vote is your power. Make it count. Download the app now and ensure you make an informed decision at the polls.
Welcome back to the Lightning Strike with Mohammed Fahim.
Okay, folks, good morning. Welcome back to the Lightning Strike. I'm your host, Mohammed Fahim. In the studio with me, Ken DeLuke, John Arena, and Jacob Pettyjohn. And you are actually going to be listening to a lot of talk today, and we'll be taking calls. Last week we did not take calls because we wanted to focus on the elections that happened. And let us say, Brett, thank you so much for calling in. Thank you so much for holding on. What is on your mind, my friend?
Thanks for taking my call.
You're
First
welcome.
off, and look, we lost, right? So, and it doesn't appear that there's going to be anything found out that they cheated or anything like that. You know, the thing that I don't hear people really talk about is the Dems were going after these billionaires to pay their fair share of taxes. And these billionaires took their money, okay, and they put it in the right-wing media, and that's how they beat us. I mean, they really beat the hell out of us by all of this negative campaigning.
Well, let me ask you, but that didn't start, yesterday. That started 20, 30 years ago, building the right-wing media infrastructure that literally just regurgitates, talking points against the left as if we're evil and we're a bunch of socialists that want to give everything away. So, that's not a new phenomenon.
Well,
Has it just been?
John, but here's what happened. Okay, this guy, Elon Musk, goes and buys Twitter.
Yeah.
Has a huge loss on it. He's going to recover every single penny that he lost. Okay, and then he throws in millions of dollars into Trump's campaign, and if you look at
adjust the algorithm to make sure.
Absolutely.
So that's what I think is our challenge here: is that you have the richest man on the planet owning an entire media ecosystem, and in my son, who is a socialist, by his declaration, he's getting Trump ads, on the 3 days leading up to the election. So everybody's getting this pushed out. So our challenge is, it's not that the election machines are doing something wrong. It's that what's flying through the airwaves and into our eyeballs through the phone is a constant stream of misinformation.
Absolutely.
And then we have a voting system, meaning the actual physical places to vote being manipulated by state governments to make sure there's less polling places, that there's longer lines, especially in communities where Democrats are likely to vote. And so that, I think, is what has been adjusted and why 14 million Democrats didn't come out, or at least voters didn't come out.
Brett, we will continue the conversations. This is not the end of the road, okay? Just losing an election is not the end of the road, okay? We are going to hold...
The other issue...
Yeah, go ahead.
The other issue is, just real quick, the other issue is that these billionaires own everything in this country. They own it, everything. Look at as soon as he said he wanted to tax these people, the groceries went up and stayed up. The gas went up and stayed up. I mean, I think that they deliberately sabotaged our whole campaign.
Well, if you look at the grocery prices, Mariano's, which are owned by Kroger, I believe.
It hasn't gone through yet.
Yeah, but Kroger was...
they were manipulating.
Yeah. And Kroger was actually held accountable. There's millions of dollars of fines on Kroger for, messing up with grocery prices.
Price gouging.
So we have a challenge that a right-wing consultant, he worked on, I don't remember his name, but he worked on Marco Rubio's campaign. He said after the election that when asked about, January 6th, and isn't that abhorrent? And how can they elect somebody who pushed that? He says, well, that was abhorrent in people's minds, but also it's abhorrent of what the price of eggs is. So for me, I look at that and it's like, okay, let's put treason next to 25 cents more for eggs and say those are an equivalency in people's mind. If that's where we are as a voting population, that is the fundamental problem.
You know what? The biggest problem with that, even that logic, is it doesn't even hold up because the wages have actually increased more than the cost of eggs. So they have more buying power. It may be more expensive than it was 4 years ago, but you make more money now to overcompensate for that expense.
And the prices are not where they were. The inflation is a myth that has been propagated on the right. In that I was in Wisconsin on Sunday before the election. When I was coming home, I stopped and got gas for $2.59 a gallon. And now, we're talking about he wants to get it down under $2 a gallon. He can't adjust the price. But the point is, it was $2.69.
Well,
what is the low amount that we have to pay for gas in order to say inflation isn't the problem anymore?
Let's do this, John. We'll come back and take a look at Trump's promises during the election right after the next break.
Yeah.
And we will see what happens on that.
Thanks,
Okay,
Thanks,
Brett,
Brett.
thank you so much for calling in, man. Do keep on listening. Go back to tlsradio.com after the show, and in the next day or so, we'll be posting a copy of the show over there, so you can go back and listen to your voice on the radio and let your family and friends know that you were on the lightning strike. Roosevelt is calling in as our one longtime listener, and Roosevelt will come back to you after a quick break, my friend, and thank you so much for calling in. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be right back on the other side of the break. Sometime.
Your voice matters more than ever. Are you registered to vote? If not, don't wait. Download the Vote IQ app today. Vote IQ gives you all the information you need on local and national offices, plus constant updates on the political news that affects you. It's easy, it's free, and it's your key to making informed decisions. Visit the Play Store or go online to www.app.voteiq.org. Your vote is your power. Make it count. Download the app now and ensure you make an informed decision at the polls.
Are you ready to spark change? Tune in to the Lightning Strike Talk Radio Show, where we tackle today's biggest issues with a bold, progressive voice. Hosted by Mohammed Fahim, we dive deep into politics, social justice, and the stories that shape our communities. Want to stay informed and inspired? Head over to tlsradio.com for full episodes, exclusive content, and updates on upcoming shows. That's tlsradio.com, where lightning strikes every week.
Welcome back to the Lightning Strike with Mohammed Fahim.
I'm never going to get tired of hearing that.
We have a new theme song. America has a new theme song.
Okay, folks, and on that note, if you are done eating the cats and the dogs in your neighborhood,
I haven't had breakfast yet. You're making me hungry.
Do call in. 773-763-9278 is the number to call in. You can also text us. And Roosevelt,
and welcome our new sponsor, Kentucky Fried Cat.
KFC.
Yeah, KFC, Kentucky Fried Cat.
Okay. Roosevelt, good morning. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for listening, my friend. You've been a very loyal listener for the past 12 months now. What's on your mind today?
Thank you for taking my call. Real quick. Remember when Trump said he loves the uneducated? Well, here's an example of it. on the day of the election,
he just got elected. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
On the day of the election, these are the three things that were Googled the most. Is Biden still running?
Yeah. Yep.
China tariffs. Okay.
Uh-huh.
China tariffs. And what was the third one? Can I change my vote?
Can I change?
Yeah, look it up, guys. So there's an example of that.
If that's the third one, then the problem is it took him that long to Google the first two.
Bingo.
I voted first, and then I looked those things up.
Okay. So, yeah, you're right. And Roosevelt, that was something that we were pointing out, that the right-wing control of the media is so phenomenal. Just to give you an example, we are in talks now to take this show to other states and other radio stations around the country, okay? So we've been approached by a broker, and the broker gave us a list of that I'm working with 100 radio stations around the country. And most of them were right-wing. So I told them, can you identify progressive stations for us? Because we don't want to go on the other stations unless we have to and just mess with their...
I think we should,
maybe that's where we need to be.
Yeah, we need to be there so people have
listeners.
a balanced opinion of what's going on.
But out of the 100 stations that this guy is working with, he came up with a list of 5 progressive stations. So now look at 95% of the messaging that is going out to our country, and especially to the uneducated, like 60% of the Trump voters, I was reading somewhere, have an education of 6th grade or above, 6th grade or below. So you can imagine that these guys are going to, listen to any darn thing that is being told to them, and then go to the polls and vote. And this is where Ken says that it is not the Republican Party anymore. What is the term that you use, Ken?
The Republican cult, or the Trump cult.
It's the Trump cult. Okay. So thank you so much for calling in. Thank you so much for listening, Roosevelt. Man, we tried, right? Okay. But this is not the end. I started off by saying that when God sends, storms and big winds, heavy winds, it makes an eagle soar. We are eagles. Don't ever forget it. Okay. These challenges are going to make us stronger. And on that note, folks, again, if you want to call in, 773-763-9278. John, you were asking me, what have I taken this morning that I am so chirpy?
Okay. And why aren't you sharing?
Yeah, what's No, when I get up in the morning, I'm always so thankful that I got up. Number one, I am alive. I put my feet on the ground. Okay, I didn't, topple over or come up with some kind of, an illness. And so much to be thankful for, folks. Especially we are living in this country that still has some checks and balances. Don't let people tell you that now that the Republicans have got the control of the Senate and they're likely to get control of the House, and they have the presidency and they have the Supreme Court in their pocket. Don't think that there are no checks and balances. There are still checks and balances, especially at the state level. A number of Democratic governors have come up today and said, we are not going to let the feds come in. And like Pritzker said yesterday, that if the feds come to get people in Illinois, they'll have to go through him. And we all know how tough it is to get anything through Pritzker. If you have met the guy, okay.
He's a good progressive.
He's a good progressive, and he's a big man. You can't really get anything past. I don't know if you get an X-ray through Pritzker, if you're going to see anything on the other side or not. But that is something that we have to be thankful for. We still live in a democratic country, even though the right-wingers are trying their best to make sure that there's going to be... What did Trump say in the beginning? This will be the last election that you'll be voting in? Something to that effect?
He said that to the evangelicals. You won't have to vote in 4 years, which,
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see.
One of the things that I always wonder is, how come that message did not resonate with the Democratic voters? Why did, almost 15 million people did not come out to vote for Kamala? Is that some kind of a thing that, okay, she is an Asian American, African American, Asian black woman? Did that have something to do with it?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I could give you scientific evidence. I think this is a deeply racist and misogynistic country in a lot of ways. It's societal. We have a hard time looking at competent women and giving them credit for what they've accomplished. This is a problem in our society. And if you listen to any right-wing news, like I do, to just see what the opposition is doing, the attacks on her as a human being were relentless. I could randomly turn on Fox News or Newsmax at any point in the day, and I guarantee you I was hearing, she's stupid. They're stupid. Trump would say it. They'd play a clip of him. The commentators would say it. They would say they're inept. I mean, it is a beatdown on just
on a massive scale.
On a
Like I said,
massive
like
scale. And
95% of the media out there is these people, okay? So we are trying our best, folks, to make a dent in the public psyche as to let us have a civil discourse in our country and make sure that we are not letting the crazies run the asylum now. I mean, we're giving the keys to the asylum to the nuts, okay? And Trump is going to come in, and he had made so many promises during the elections.
he's
Trump,
going to keep every one of these promises.
Ken, you want to go ahead and read out some of the promises that have been made during the elections?
Yeah,
and
so
these are
I'm
things that have been
getting-
made out, folks. We are not making this
Yeah.
up, okay?
I'm very excited about all these promises, especially when they come to pass. So everyone get out your pencils. Gas is going to be under $2. Definitely will be lower grocery prices, a 50% decrease in car insurance. Landlords will reduce rent, home prices will go down, sub 3% interest rates. Well, that's actually going on right now. No tax on Social Security, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. End the Ukraine war in January.
Well, he said he will end that in 24 hours
Oh, yeah.
once he
He's
got...
going to turn, yeah.
And the
they're gonna turn
conflict in
over
Israel,
25%.
and lower taxes for families making under $200,000. So this is going to be wonderful. I can't wait.
Okay, so
And
folks...
and the debt is going to be zero, right? 'Cause,
No, I mean, we're going to be repeating these things so that we can hold these guys accountable for all the promises and the tall talks that they have made. It's not going to be that easy. You can't just flip a switch and say we're going to send back 20 million people out of the country.
Here's one prediction I have. The word federal deficit will not be spoken on any right-wing media for the next 4 years. Because they never do. They've been taught. That's another thing that they've been like the debt. We can't afford anything.
Yep.
And everything he's talked about there. If government's going to do it, somebody's got to pay for it. Because
let's take
late-stage
a-
capitalism doesn't give away things for free.
Yeah, let's take a quick call. We got Bonnie calling in from St. Charles. And Bonnie, good morning. You are on the Lightning Strike with Mohammed, Ken, and John. Okay.
Hey, Bonnie, could you turn off your radio in the background?
And just listen on the phone. If you could just tune down your radio because you're getting the feedback from your radio in the back.
Go to the next call, and then we can come back to it. Yeah.
Okay.
Good morning. Thanks for
there you
taking
are.
my phone call.
You're welcome, Bonnie. And please tune down your radio.
Okay,
we
let
can,
me turn it
we can
off.
hear that in the background.
Neighbor assured me last week, because he knew how depressed I was about the election results, that nothing would change between now and 4 years from now. But I woke up this morning and they said that the restrictions on gun stocks had already been reversed. I have a neighbor who builds guns in his basement because he's on disability, so he's able to stay home. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Sorry, I was just laughing. He's on disability, so he
And-
builds guns.
Yeah.
Hey.
So we taxpayers pay him to stay home, live in his mother's basement, and build guns. And it, of course, makes me cuckoo nutty because I'm 80 years old. I've lived in this wonderful country forever. And so what do we do about that? I certainly can't call the police or the fire department. I live in St. Charles, Illinois. It's the right-wing capital of the world.
I know St. Charles, Bonnie. I got family in St. Charles. Okay.
It's actually a beautiful town.
But
Oh, it is beautiful. It's gorgeous. Unfortunately, I have 20 pro-democratic signs in my yard and a gigantic.
Hey,
You're a small blue dot in a big red town.
all the more power to you, Bonnie.
I love it.
Feel free to call in to the show anytime and share your thoughts. We'd love for all our progressive to consider that this is not the end of the world. Man, we're going to fight back. We're going to give them such a fight that they will think twice about coming to, especially Illinois, with our wonderful governor saying, okay, they have to go through
Yes,
me.
our governor is wonderful.
Okay.
And our library system is wonderful. We can get all the books we want anytime we want.
Yep.
So yes, Illinois is a beacon.
Absolutely.
And there's horrible
Absolutely, Bonnie.
Yeah,
And
fantastic.
go back to our website in a couple of days, which is tlsradio.com, and you'll get to listen back to what you have been saying on the radio and share that with family and friends so that we can continue to grow our audience. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back on the other side of the break with some more fascinating conversations. We are almost getting into our final segment, folks. Time flies, man, when you're having fun.
Yeah, I wish. Okay.
Hey, Jude, I got your Zoom request. What's up?
Hi, Ken. Well, I know that you're into politics, and after watching the news last night, I'm interested in getting more involved myself.
Great. How can I help?
Well, I have some ideas on the candidates, but no clue on most of the other candidates I might find on the ballot. Can you help me get information on that?
Hey, better than that, I can give you a website that'll do a way better job than me. VoteIQ.org. Personally, this is the best resource for voting I've ever seen. You hit the profile button, you enter your name and address, it will automatically know what district you're in. So when you hit the Meet the Candidates link, it'll show you everyone that will be on your ballot, including their phone number, address, email, and website. There's also links for virtual events, meetings, Q&As. They have discussion groups if you want to connect with like-minded voters. It has a fantastic news link that continuously updates, and by continuously, I mean all the time. It's like, minute by minute almost, with digital video and live TV. And if you haven't registered to vote, there's a voting hub which will give you everything you need, including where to register, finding your polling locations, using absentee ballots, and it'll even show you what's on your ballot. There's also a spot for surveys and polls. Plus, there's a lot of other features. The best part, it's free. Do you have a pen?
That's awesome. Thank you for that information. Yes.
Okay, again, the website is VoteIQ.org, or you can even download the app on your smartphone from your app store.
Awesome. Thanks, Ken. I appreciate it.
Yeah, let me know what you think about that.
I will.
Take care. Bye.
Welcome back to the Lightning Strike with Mohammed Fahim.
Okay, folks, welcome back to the Lightning Strike. We are on the final segment of the show. We come every Sunday morning from 9 to 10. And you can go to our website later on, tlsradio.com, catch the previous shows, catch this show also. We just posted on our YouTube channel also, which is at TLS Chicago. And today we are coming live to you on Facebook and also on Twitch, which is a new platform that Jacob Pettyjohn, our intern, brought to our attention. Thank you, Jacob, for being so nice. Okay. And we are going to be putting things up on podcast as an audio also as we go. So we're going to be spreading quite a bit, and you're welcome to listen in. You're welcome to call in. And if you want to sponsor the show, do go to our website and send us a message. And we will have you, come in as a sponsor. And as we grow, we want to make sure that the progressive message is reaching far and wide. And so we need your help with that. And let's see if we got our person of the week. Jacqueline Ruiz would be calling in shortly. And we also have our segment producer, Sheila, on the line. And we'll bring them in just a few minutes. So Biden's legacy, which we forgot to talk about, guys. What kind of legacy do you think Biden is leaving, especially with him insisting that he's a Zionist, when the word Zionist now throughout the world is getting beaten up so badly, and the war in Israel is not ending anytime soon? Israel is still pounding Gaza. I mean, what is left there to pound, guys? And these guys are going into all kinds of things in Lebanon and Syria and other places. And I think a lot of the reason why people didn't come out to vote had to do with the guilt that Americans have been experiencing with this ongoing genocide with our tax dollars.
Well, I mean, you started this about Biden's legacy, and all I'll say about that is he passed landmark legislation, and then by not adhering to what his kind of assumed promise was to be a transitional presidency to the next generation, not allowing for a robust discussion about who the candidate was be, no offense to Kamala Harris, because she was great and she ran a great technical campaign, but we didn't get a chance. People didn't get a chance to know her and where she was and separate herself from the Biden policies. And what's interesting is the polling that we're starting to see internally was Biden's numbers were worse than Trump's by 6 points. And this is before the bad performance in the debate. There were numbers about what were different categories. How would people in Wisconsin and Arizona and all the swing states respond to a message that we're going to defend, we're going to stop funding this war and this genocide? The numbers were high. It was a mistake for her campaign to not distance herself on that very issue. And you were saying this, and you were right, that this has been a problem. The problem is they were too afraid of saying, well, we're going to lose the moderate Republicans and the Jewish population, which didn't really vote, didn't have an effect. They would have had an effect if the progressive left, which the Democratic Party is so afraid of the left, they are more afraid of the left than they are of the right. And that's the problem, because it's the left policies that are popular.
Yeah, John, and that is a conversation that we are going to continue to carry on this show, folks. And see, the perception was that the conductor was changed, but the train was on the same track.
The song didn't change. That's the metaphor you're looking for.
Yeah.
Oh, the conductor of the train.
The conductor of the train, not the conductor of an orchestra, man. Come on. Okay.
Dylan is laughing at me right now.
Sheila, I don't see Jackie calling in, so if you don't mind, if you can reach her, we got 10 minutes to go before we end the show, and we'd love to bring Jackie back on. But while we are waiting for Jackie and Sheila to join us, let's bring in Dave from Hoffman Estates. Dave, thank you for calling. Thank you for listening. What do you have to say, my friend?
Well, Mohammed, I noticed you fellas all forgot. Today, 35 years ago, the Berlin Wall came down, and tomorrow is going to be Veterans Day.
Yeah.
And that is something that we were definitely going to bring up in our final thoughts of the day. Thank you so much, Dave, for reminding us. We owe a lot to our veterans. And in my family, I've got 5 close cousins who have fought for our country and who are still, a couple of them are still enlisted. So tomorrow is Veterans Day, folks. This is a day not so much to celebrate, but to commiserate with our veterans. I mean, these people have given their all, John, and our government has not treated them right. When I was working with the state, when I was working with Illinois WorkNet, I put together a program, and this is on Crane Chicago Business. There's a video of me teaching the veterans how to translate their MOS, which is military occupation skills, into civilian speak. And one of the veterans, he is like maybe 20, 22, something like that, and he joined the Marines right out of high school. And he makes this statement that when we had no idea what we were going to do when we came out of the service, we all thought we were going to be janitors. And this is coming from a veteran, because they come out, and I used to go to these job fairs. And there will be a lot of these educational institutions, these diploma mills out there, trying to take the GI Bill dollar
money,
and give them this worthless, useless diplomas which did not lead to a job as a country.
And not giving them credit for the education, the real-world education they're getting while they're in the military.
So what I did was I put together, we got a grant of $110,000, I remember, from the Department of Commerce. I put together a 2-week program for manufacturing jobs for these returning veterans. So the first week we spent in the classroom. I was teaching them how to translate their MOS into civilian speak that a civilian can understand. 17 veterans in the program. The next week I took them visiting with local manufacturers in the northwest suburbs. 14 of them were offered full-time employment. And it was such a wonderful program. Unfortunately, we could not repeat that because our Department of Commerce, in all their glory, did not have a management component to the grant.
Yeah.
So my boss refused to take the next grant. Okay. On that note, let's say, hey, we finally got Jacqueline and Sheila. We got 7 minutes to the show, man. You guys try to cut it too short for me. Sheila, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Excited to bring good news this morning. We have Jacqueline Ruiz on the line with us, and she's our person of the week. She is a pilot. She's a speaker. She's an author. Multiple books she's written, and she helps entrepreneurs all over the world, especially women. So this should be the next person running for office. Jacqueline, welcome to the Lightning Strike.
Thank you so much, Sheila, and thank you so much, Mohammed. I am excited to be here today. Thank you for having me.
Hey, we wish that you had come a little bit earlier so we could have a proper conversation. We are almost like 6 minutes to the end of the show.
Let her talk.
But Jackie is a person that I respect, folks. I have known her for we have known each other for about 7 years, 8 years now, Jackie?
Probably a little longer.
Okay. And so the recent award that you got, I know that you got an award. What was that about?
It was the Women's College of DuPage named me the 42nd Woman of the Year. The award started being given out the year I was born, and now I became the recipient of the 42nd award as the Ada Wheeler Women of the Year.
Now, Jackie, is that better than being a Lightning Strike Person of the Week?
No, absolutely not. Does not compare.
Okay, so Jackie, we got about 4 minutes. But would you encapsulate your story that you had told me when we first met? How you came to the country, the challenges that you faced, how you overcame them, and how you motivate others to do the same.
Perfect. I came to the States when I was 14 years old. I didn't speak a word of English. I became trilingual within a couple of years, picking up German along the way. But unfortunately, when I was 21 and 23, I faced 2 bouts of cancer. I spent a lot of time as a young entrepreneur in the hospitals and procedures and all of that. And I will tell you that that inspired me to write my books. I have 36 books of my own now. I have published over 500 books for people in 34 countries. I have traveled to 4 continents. I speak around the world. I became one of the few Latina sports airplane pilots. So to me, those bouts of cancer, especially the second time, was profound. And I became aware to the beauty of life on that, when I was 23 years old. And I've now had my companies for almost 19 years, and the publishing company for almost 10 years.
And you wanted me to write a book when we first met, and I still haven't got around to it, Jackie. My apologies. Okay. Okay.
I have 36 and counting, so we gotta get at it, Mohammed.
Okay. One day, I promise you, and my kids have been after me for that also. But the first jobs that you had in marketing, and what motivated you to launch your own company? Because what happened on the job? Can you share that story?
Yes, absolutely. I was working in marketing, and somebody basically, the nutshell is that somebody said, you're not adequate for this. And I went on and created my own farm. And from there, I've never looked back ever since. I recently graduated from a program at Stanford University where you have to do over $1 million in revenue. And I got accepted. And all those struggles and the adversities along the way, they fueled me like fire to do more.
See, Sheila?
That's great.
And Jackie, you thought that I had forgotten all those stories. I still remember our conversations because you were so inspirational when we met. And then, when I was going to run for office, we had a cup of coffee somewhere in Oak Brook or somewhere, if I remember correct.
Yes.
Okay.
You're pretty amazing yourself. I mean, I'm really honored to be here with you because what you've done and we continue to do is pretty impressive.
Jacqueline, they said you're an airline pilot. What actually do you fly?
Actually, I'm a sports pilot, and so I've been flying for about 10 years. I fly light sport aircraft, and lately I've been flying a lot of the private airplanes. as well, like Cessnas and Piper Arrows. But most of my training was with a plane called Remos. And it's really, I'm not an airline pilot. I'm an airplane pilot, a sports airplane pilot, which means it's basically a sports car for the air. And I do it as a hobby. I take my husband, my kids, my family. I've taken over 100 passengers to soar the skies of Illinois and beyond. And that's,
well, you got somebody that you need to really take on your plane now, and that's Sheila White, our segment producer, who herself is a phenomenal person. If you look at Sheila's background, it'll blow your mind.
She's phenomenal. I had another amazing conversation with her too. You're incredible, Sheila.
Thank you.
Okay, folks, so we are coming up to the end of our time today, and every Sunday we are here from 9 to 10 in the mornings and the Lightning Strike, and you're welcome to go back to our website. Jackie, Sheila, thank you so much for joining us. We are winding down, and we got like a minute to go, but be in touch, and let's see if we can get together for a cup of coffee sometime soon, Jackie, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
I want to offer something that, I think in this moment, obviously we're all, struggling to figure out, what we can do and how do we prepare for what's coming for the next 4 years. If you're interested in something that you can do, donate to the ACLU. They were incredibly effective in the last term. They've been preparing for a year for what could have come, before this, and we know it's coming now. They're going to need resources to make sure that there is legal defense against the illegal actions that this administration will take. So, I donate, monthly to that cause. It's a great way to have an effect, outside of yourself and your community.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for bringing that, John, on. And absolutely, folks, you have a wonderful day tomorrow for Veterans Day. And do please go and appreciate a veteran in your family, in your life, in your neighborhood. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back next week, same time, same place.
Let your friends say